We have all felt the visceral discomfort of a handshake gone wrong. Whether it's the limp dead fish, the aggressive bone crusher, or the clammy, sweaty palmer, these errors trigger immediate unease. That initial contact sets a professional ceiling. A clumsy greeting erodes your credibility before you even sit down, often signaling a lack of confidence or a bullying nature that can derail a deal before it begins. This happens because grasping a stranger's hand acts as a psychological trigger. We evaluate a person's intent and reliability based on the specific physics of their grip. Understanding the handshake requires looking past the rules of etiquette to see how these physical movements shape the way we perceive one another. Researchers at Harvard Business School investigated how these physical greetings impact mixed motive negotiations, those high-stakes situations where parties have both shared and conflicting interests. This chart compares the joint financial outcomes of two negotiating groups. Pairs who shook hands prior to their talks consistently achieved higher point totals and better joint outcomes than those who avoided contact. The study also uncovered a more surprising trend. The physical act of shaking hands reduced the likelihood of a negotiator lying or withholding self-benefiting information. The handshake effectively acts as a biological signal of cooperative intent. It disarms our natural competitive instincts and establishes a baseline of trust. This reaction is hardwired because the handshake was originally a safety test. In antiquity, extending an open, empty right hand served as literal proof that a stranger was not holding a weapon. The Romans added the up and down pumping motion to further ensure safety. The movement was designed to dislodge any daggers or knives that might be hidden inside a loose sleeve. By the 17th century, the gesture evolved into a symbol of equality. The Quakers popularized the handshake as a more egalitarian alternative to class-based traditions like bowing or tipping a hat. The modern business greeting is, at its core, a survival ritual that proves you are safe to interact with. While the desire to signal safety is universal, the mechanics change across borders. Because safety is a subjective concept, failing to match local cultural expectations can backfire. In the West, a firm, quick grip indicates confidence, but in places like China and South Korea, that same pressure is often considered aggressive. There, a soft grip is a requirement for showing respect. In Turkey, a firm grip is rude, and the handshake may linger as a gesture of friendship. In Thailand, however, traditional handshakes are often avoided entirely. Instead, Thai culture relies on the Y, placing the palms together at chest level and bowing. Assuming your native handshake is universally accepted is the fastest way to accidentally signal non-cooperative intent during a global meeting. In a Western setting, the perfect shake begins before you touch. You stand straight, maintain direct eye contact, and offer a smile to signal your sincerity and attentiveness. When you reach out, connect the web of your hand to theirs. You should apply a firm grip, roughly the same pressure you would use to turn a doorknob. Lean slightly forward and execute 2 to 3 pulses. The motion should originate from your elbow, while your forearm and wrist remain firm. Finally, release the hand. Pulling away too quickly can seem rude, but holding on for more than a few seconds makes you a lingerer, which makes the other person feel awkward. These specific mechanics signal a controlled balance of confidence and professionalism. When the physical interaction is seamless, it reinforces the perception of a competent, reliable partner. The COVID-19 pandemic introduced a direct challenge to the handshake's dominance. Suddenly, hygiene concerns made physical contact a source of anxiety rather than rapport. This period saw the rise of hands-free alternatives, like the elbow bump, as we attempted to find new ways to greet without skin-to-skin contact. If you are unable or choose not to shake hands, acknowledge the situation. Use your words to explain your position and suggest a touch-free alternative to put the other person at ease. Despite these health concerns, the absence of a physical greeting felt jarring. The move to touchless alternatives highlighted how much we rely on physical connection to set the stage for interaction. Even when social habits shifted, the handshake persisted. High-profile world leaders frequently fumbled on camera, instinctively reaching for a hand, even during the height of the no-shake rules. We return to it because humans are biologically hardwired to use physical rituals to bridge the gap of trust with strangers. A proper handshake creates a bridge for connection. By executing those 3 seconds correctly, you prove you come in peace.